Hi, this is Chris Cole from Sweet Valley Hives. We get a lot of questions this time of year concerning feeding bees in a Warre Hive. And I wanted to make a quick video here to show you how we feed bees upon an initial installation in the spring. Now, sometimes we'll feed in the fall as well, but we always feed upon initial installation. And that's what I want to go over with you right now. In the spring, we feed a 1-to-1 sugar ratio, sugar water in a 1-to-1. In the fall, if we feed in the fall, a lot of beekeepers feel you should use a 2-to-1 ratio. So before we go through the actual mechanics of the feeding, let me just show you what that means. If you're not familiar with 1-to-1 or 2-to-1 sugar water, it really doesn't have anything to do with specific quantities of cups, pints, quarts, gallons, whatever. It just means any quantity in equal portions. In other words, if you have two little cups like this, that one's water, this one is sugar, 1-to-1. If you don't have specific measuring cups and you just have two big cups like this that say popcorn on them or anything, use one with water, use the same one with sugar. Now, we always bring the water to near boiling and then dump the sugar in it, and that helps the sugar mix up better, but let it cool down before you give it to your bees, obviously. Now, in the fall, if you're doing 2-to-1, you would do one water, and then you would do 2 sugars, and you would then have a 2-to-1 ratio. But don't get too wrapped up in this. It does not have to be mathematically precise on a molecular level. Get it close, get it to where you want it, and the bees will do just fine. Now, going through the actual mechanics of how do you feed on initial installation, we will take the hive itself and completely disassemble it with the package of bees off to the side. We take a 1-gallon Ziploc bag with about 1.5 quarts of sugar water in it, and we lay it right on the floor of the bottom board. When we do that, we let the zipper part hang off the back. The reason we do that is when we go to reconstruct the hive bodies and start putting them on, we want to have access to that zipper part on the bag. So when the bees consume all the sugar water and the bag is empty, you want to get that bag out of there. And the easiest way to do that is to have this available for you a couple days later. So only the minimal movement of the box itself will allow you to extract the empty bag. And then you have full access to the screened floor of the bottom board. So let's take a look at what we do. The sugar water's in place. I have access to these disposable scalpels, but any type of razor, knife, any real sharp instrument will do. And you're going to want to do this in your kitchen sink before you try it with the bees, just to prove to yourself that the water will not come gushing out. So here's the razor knife. We stick it in the bag, just make a big long slit. Now you can make a series of small cuts, you can make a bunch of long ones, it doesn't matter. There's a big long cut here, here's a big long cut here. I'm really slicing up the top of this bag, and you see that the water does not come gushing out. Once that's in place there, we start reconstructing the hive now. We'll put on the hive body 1, hive body 2, our queen ring, hive body 3. Then we will dump the bees in, put the propolis screen on, the quilt box, the roof, and it's all downhill from there. The bees have access to the sugar water. You can watch through the back window. When the bag is empty, pull it out. It's really that simple. That's all I have for now. This is Chris Cole from Sweet Valley Hives. Check us out at sweetvalleyhives.com or on Sweet Valley Hives on Facebook. If you have any particular questions, feel free to email me at sweetvalleyhives@gmail.com. Hope this helps. Have a good night.